Kendrick Lamar is a contradiction. So obviously he's here to stir up some. We're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get in here. You know, I don't want to hold y'all too long. We're gonna get in here. Thank y'all, everybody, to the new subscribers. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Everybody who here, let's get it. I ain't gonna waste y'all time.
That's the contradictions of what you think life is.
All right, y'all. You know I ain't biased here. I ain't gonna lie, I damn near needed some upliftment to even do this video. I'm tapped out. I'm exhausted. When the hell is Tyler coming out? I need something new. This will probably be the last take I have for this Big Three beef, if you even want to call it a beef. At this point, it's more like tofu. It seems that on Kendrick's side, I'm the only creator that's gonna say this. I've watched so many people's takes on this interview, and I'm actually the only person that seems to feel this way. So maybe I'm the problem. What did Kendrick say again on Father Time?
Guess I'm not mature as I think. Guess I'm healing to do.
Yeah, I guess that's me right now. It's good. I could be the only one that feels this way. Shit, I'ma stand on it. K-Dot's interview had all us hip-hop fans fucked up. And I don't have time to argue with the meat writers that act like academics big chalupa with extra sour cream gurgling at, making excuses or rebuttals of how they agree or love the interview, and I'm crazy. All the people that are gonna say,
he doesn't need to have a different answer. He can answer the way he wants to.
Ask me if I care, because I don't. As a hip-hop fan, I hated it. As a stand on all 10 type of dude, I hated it even more. Was it brilliant to take control over the interview and not let anyone ask you tough specific?
That is true. That is true. How do y'all feel about the interview? Did y'all get what y'all wanted out of the interview? Because I feel exactly the way he did. That was totally controlled. For all you know, he wrote the questions. You know, SZA, that's his girl. You know, they go way back. And of course, that's another jab at Drake, you know, because he mentioned SZA in one of his songs. But excuse me.
Specific uncomfortable questions. Hell yeah, that was brilliant. Am I for having your day one old label mate SZA interview you? But also a low-key statement, throwing a slight shade at Drake because he stated SZA got you wiped down.
You ain't in no Big Three. SZA got you wiped down.
Around the time he had an anthem with her and Sexy Red. So this interview screams loudly of whose side she's on, especially knowing Drake is definitely sad and bothered by this because he's always uptight about his old flings where he made a living off of making songs about them. It's also coming full circle to the initial diss on the BET Cypher in which Kendrick disses Drake, calling him sensitive on how he took the Control verse earlier that year.
I'm about to crack the Da Vinci Code, yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes.
With a younger SZA bobbing her.
This song shook up the industry for a minute. Shook it up.
Her head in the background.
This is where Drake's PTSD started.
That was perfect. It was a chef's kiss. And I get why hip-hop media could feel away. Kendrick went to Harper Bazaar magazine that has nothing to do with the culture. But I don't blame Kendrick, since most of the big hip-hop media outlets are Drake guzzlers. And they played on Dot's name, gaining full control of how you're perceived without misconstruing your words. That was all calculated and strategic and just dope as fuck. But with all that being said, I feel that the interview shouldn't have happened if he was going to make a hypocritical and contradicting statement, specifically about the song Not Like Us. This video will focus solely on that particular segment of the interview, while other creators have highlighted the positive aspects, such as Kendrick's reflections on his personal growth. I'll be addressing the specific issue that's currently gaining significant attention on social media. And I know y'all gonna hate me for this video. It's good. Villain type shit. Gotham City. It is what it is. But one thing is for sure. This just made me appreciate the greats even more. Tupac and Biggie, Hova and Nas, 50 Cent and M versus Ja Rule, Eminem versus ICP, Jay-Z versus Dipset, Lil Wayne versus the Eclipse. I appreciate real hip hop, real rap, the battles, the war wounds, the scars, the competition. I'm a hip hop head, a natural competitor. I see blood when it's wartime. I play to win. And in my fantasy of a world, being a content creator, to battle against the Drake Gurglers fan base, such as academics, I put myself on Kendrick's team by default, even though he could care less and don't know I exist. No one asked me to do this. That's on me. It's annoying as fuck, though, that I have to unfortunately be the guy that's unbiased. Also the guy who can take a step back and look at the entire picture regardless of how I feel. I hate that I have to admit that Drake's bitch ass had the old school rap spirit in him. Seen blood, wore up, stood on everything he felt and said. Again, I'm not biased. Even if I don't like Drake for how he moves in the industry or the things he's done to the industry and hip hop in general, or approving the prejudiced takes like What's the Dirt, who says racially biased, stereotypical comments like Kendrick being the messiah of rap and a milkman, or especially when Drake mocked slavery and thought the shit was funny. Who would have thought this would be the mother?
Yeah, that was his whole downfall. And what's the dirt, man? He he took a downfall for the worse. He's heading in another direction. After he dropped that, and well, y'all got to go check that video out. You know what? He actually made a lot of good breakdowns too. He's a pretty decent guy, but he seemed compromised now. I don't know if he's working for the ops now or what, but
Motherfucker who will be the only one out of the three to stand on what he's behind and give the fighting spirit of not backing down by any means.
that's true. Drake did maintain and stayed the same. You got to give him that. You got to give him that. Drake, you got to give him that, right?
And not contradicting or being a hypocrite during the entire battle. And we are talking about strictly rap, the lyrics. This is what we're talking about here. We're talking about straight up beef battle mode. J. Cole folded. Kendrick's contradicting himself. Drake has remained Drake in this beef. Now, that could be a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. I mean, if you want to be morally correct, right? Maybe that shows that Drake has no growth as a person. I mean, we all know that he acts like a man-child. But at the same time, this is hip-hop. And if I have to compare Drake to previous hip-hop, legendary hip-hop beefs, he's moving like a hip-hop artist. I hate that I have to actually give this dude props when it comes to hip-hop and battle rap, because I would like it to be about the nigga I'm siding with. Unlike you Drake fans, I know when it's time to say we took an L, and this is the time. And unlike you Meat Rod and J. Cole and even K-Dot fans, I know when to say I can't stand by something. And I'm not asking for him to incriminate himself as a gang member. I'm not asking him to name drop Drake either. But to say Not Like Us is about his morals as a man is bizarre. No pun intended. During his interview with SZA, she would ask, "Can I ask you a hypermasculine question? You can also tell me to shut the fuck up. What does not like us mean to you?" Kendrick will respond laughing, "Not like us? Not like us is the energy of who I am, the type of man I represent. Now, if you identify with that man that I represent," SZA would intervene, "break the man down for me." Kendrick.
Now, everybody would get what he just said a different way, depending on how you heard it. Now, what did that mean to y'all when K Dot answered that question? Because and did you think that he had to say basically it was about Drake and it was a diss song? Because at the end of the day, his answer still adds up to someone having morals, which could be Drake at the end of the day. But is he leaning into this too much? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, how do you feel about this. Let me know. Leave me a comment, because I think he's digging too deep.
Lamar would say, "This man has morals. He has values. He believes in something. He stands on something. He's not pandering. He's a man who can recognize his mistakes and not be afraid to share the mistakes, and can dig deep down into fear-based ideologies or experiences to be able to express them without feeling like he's less of a man." If I'm thinking of Not Like Us, I'm thinking of me and whoever identifies with that. SZA then asks, "Now, can I say something else in that realm, or you want me to get away from that? Can I ask you something else?"
Because at the end of the day, K Dot is trying to kind of like, end it. He's not trying to perpetuate it, any more than it already is. So the fact that excuse me, the fact that he's trying to just let this stuff ride out, he's not going to come out and actually say, oh, this is about me stomping on Drake. This is about me, what I'm saying? Like, he's literally taking the high road. But we all know what it's about, because when you're in that rap realm compared to doing an interview as Kendrick, is two different people. And when he speaks on the pen, on the paper, that's different from when he's in this interview. It's another person. That's black hippie K dot right there.
Kendrick Lamar asks, is it me? SZA says no. It's more like, I thought it was really interesting that there was any consensus at all that you might be an angry individual. For me, I don't find that any energy that comes from you comes from an angry place. And actually, the last hour and change pretty much solidifies that it's almost from a yogic, monk-like place. So when you feel the surge of energy in records like that, is it anger? Kendrick Lamar would then respond, I don't believe in an angry person, but I do believe in love and war, and I believe they both need to exist. And my awareness of that allows me to react to things, but not identify with them as who I am. Just allowing them to exist and allowing them to flow through me. That's what I believe. Basically, Kendrick saying he won't let a battle change his morals or him as a person and what he stands for. SZA then responds, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead before I say something crazy. Man, he should have said it means what it says, not like us, and kept it pushing. That's just me, though. He should have just said that. He should have said it means not like us. He doesn't need to explain. He doesn't need to go into detail. Fuck all that other shit. It means not like us. That's the statement right there. It means not like us. Don't discredit the song.
But didn't he say that at the pop out? I mean, he kind of mentioned all that when he had to. I think he's digging into this way too much, because everybody already know what the mission is. K Dot just trying to make it to Super Bowl, do it one more time, because it's the biggest song ever, and it's gonna get even bigger after the Super Bowl. Let's be sure of that. It's gonna be bigger.
Don't fuck up the impact. Just say it's not like us. I mean, he didn't necessarily say anything wrong. It was a very humble response. It's very clear he's taking a jab at Cole and Drake, using the word pandering, which basically is J. Cole. I mean, I guess it could be Drake too, but mostly J. Cole. And pretty much also coming for Drake, just overall coming for Drake. Discrediting Drake for not being a man of morals, which he's not. We all know that. Drake's a whole bitch and doesn't act like a grown man. He acts like a 15-year-old lesbian.
I feel like this dude is contradicting his own contradiction. But let's go.
And I'm not saying 15-year-old lesbians don't have morals. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, usually when you're young, you don't.
He said 15-year-old. I'm not gonna say that.
Don't really move like that, morally correct. But also, I just say he looks like a 15-year-old lesbian, because he does. However, he wasn't being morally correct when he said, fuck the big three, it's just big me. Or when he dropped Meet the Grams, bringing people's family involved, talking to this man's son, becoming his new daddy by giving him fatherly advice, in a sense being a better father than Drake. Although he didn't start the low blows, he sure in hell finished them. And he especially wasn't morally correct when he dropped Not Like Us. This wasn't about morals at all. He was being just as petty as Drake, and he showed up as the boogeyman. He wanted the crown, so he pressed them niggas. And he should have. This is rap, and they were playing in his face, so we called them out. Not like us. A man of morals. Morally correct. What does this mean? Morally correct means something is in accordance with moral principles and is considered morally good. It involves being able to distinguish between right and wrong and acting in a way that is guided by values. views. He didn't act that way when he set it off with the Like That verse and continued through Not Like Us. We know Not Like Us stemmed from Drake's slave comment though, and he rebutted by saying Drake's a white boy. We also know it stemmed from Drake questioning Kendrick's affiliation with gangs in Compton, in which Kendrick did a loud flamed up response at a Ken and Friends concert. It also stemmed from Drake using Tupac and Snoop's voice in an AI diss track towards Kendrick. And let's not forget about Kendrick stating,
What I learned is niggas don't like the West Coast, and I'm fine with it. I'll push the line with it.
basically stating that Drake and the rest of the world can't relate to the West Coast. People don't show the West Coast love, and a lot of the West Coast music is slept on because damn near everyone was calling Kendrick's songs boring and not relatable, except for Kendrick's core fans. And of course, shining the light on Drake's PDF allegations. His Not Like Us song was a statement, an answer to all of that. But when SZA asked Kendrick what it meant, his response ultimately made him sound like another contradicting rapper. This could ultimately diminish the impact of the song if he's not supporting the message it was originally meant to convey. And this may not.
Does that really bother y'all that much? The fact that he's harping on K Dot not. He's kind of K Dot is kind of taking the high road instead of keep because all he wants to do is hear him say that this song is about Drake and it's about Drake and it's about Drake and it's about. But K Dot, everybody already know what it's about. Why do he need to repeat it? And how do y'all feel about the answer he came up with? Now, I thought everybody get to write their own life, how it goes, because it seemed like he wants to rewrite his own life. Tell him how it's supposed to end, how it's supposed to be. I don't have a problem with the way the interview went. You know, I even think that he could have he could have write those questions that Scissor asked him. They're in the same camp. Hey, these are questions I want you to ask me. Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna make it seem dramatic. There's no cameras there. It's all in the writing. K Dot could have wrote the whole script. Here's the scheme. Scissor say this, you say that. But that's allegedly. I'm just speculating. Don't kill me. Kill me in the chats.
Not be that deep to the listeners out there listening right now. Yeah, you might not care about all of that. Like, man, it's just an interview, right? Because it seems like most of the fans support it. You may feel that he displayed a class act persona, but it's way deeper than that. For me and my peers that have an audience who have been in our own battle, our own war through the Civil War, Kendrick basically made every hip hop blogger, commentator, radio host, anyone that sided with him and went at the Drake gobblers like Academics or Maul or Aiden and their huge ass fan bases that all openly attack K-Dot's spinning narratives that myself, we all challenged. He made our words weightless by contradicting himself and by being a hypocrite. So like every video I've done to this point, he made my own words contradicting. I mean, y'all was all there. They were going in on Kendrick when they were saying he was a contradiction because of the abuse allegations towards Whitney, because he cheated on Whitney with a white woman, or because he wifed a biracial woman to begin with, when they also called him a contradiction because he's doing the halftime show, but once stated he was for Kaepernick and against the NFL. And even though all those are not true whatsoever, and I don't agree with any of those takes, he did, however, contradict himself by answering a question that we all already know the real answer to. People see and hear and read things very surface level. Now, to the Kendrick fans that are going to be against this video, you could say that about me. Oh, you're looking at it surface level. It's deeper than that. Nah, I'm looking at it in all four corners of a square, because Drake fans and the rest of the world, they are usually surface level thinkers. These are the same people that would argue with me in the comments when I was breaking down Kendrick's lyrics. I know how they think. This basically made all their assumptions hold more weight in their peon brains. Everything they'd been feeling, that Kendrick is a walking contradiction, and how they may feel like they've always been right this entire time by discrediting the whole entire beef to begin with. I don't want to hear about agendas either, man. This ain't no agenda. This isn't an agenda. Nah, This is a hip hop fan who just wants rap, bro. Lyrical warfare, nothing serious. It wasn't even that serious until academics and Drake's bitch ass started pushing the narrative, calling OVO goons and Drake calling out Kendrick's affiliation. It was always a friendly fade. Kendrick didn't take personal shots until Drake did. But with all that being said, everything up until this point represented true hip hop. I say up until this point because his response undermines the impact and statement of Not Like Us, which ultimately crowned Kendrick as the victor. Sure, if we break down his response, it can somewhat align with the overall meaning of Not Like Us, but only Kendrick fans are doing that. So again, to everyone else, it diminishes the original message. I'm gonna be honest, this shit pissed me off.
Do y'all agree with him? Leave me some comments down there. Let me know what y'all think about it. Because I think he's just, since the beef, a lot of things change. A lot of things change. And I don't think Kendrick has to come out and literally say, this song is kicking this man in the face. Everybody out there already know what the song has done. Everybody already know what the song is about. The whole world know it came out of the biggest beef to ever happen. The whole world knows that. So there's no reason for him to keep repeating it or even repeat it to begin with. The music and the pen that made the music says all the words that needs to be said. And I don't have a problem with that. If y'all have a problem with that, or y'all feel like um K Dot should have mentioned this in the interview, let me know. Because I don't think he needed to. I think K Dot has always spread peace, and even though it was a beef and all the stuff that happens, he's not the type of person to spread negativity. He doesn't speak like that when he communicates with other human beings. Not gonna come out and say stuff like that. And secondly, I think the fact that this interview was a written interview, we don't know if they actually sat down and had an interview, because it's written. So you could just say, hey, these are the questions, and there they are, and you answer them, and we make up the whatever. But let me know how y'all feel down in the comments. Appreciate it. I realize I do have a few followers that stay all the way to the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Leave me a comment down below, an emoji if you stayed all the way to the end. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.